Hi everyone, I'm Lucy and this is Memory Keeper Journals, and today we're going to be doing the prompt number 5, which has to do with wildlife. The first thing that came to my mind was some of the reindeers that I had gotten from Heather at Rosehill Paper Cottage, and I really wanted to use that on this page, so I kind of had an idea of what it was going to look like, but I needed to prep the page first and cover the magazine because I didn't want that. Plus, I also wanted to use my watercolor pencils, so that's exactly what made me think of just prepping the page first with some gesso. I only needed to cover half of the page, but because I didn't want to waste my coffee dye paper, I finished using it on to the next page, and I figured it won't go to waste because I will probably cover that page as well when I get to the next prompt. So I just went ahead and glue it on to the next page without cutting it, and just so that I can continue the coverage on it. So I finally took my gesso out and I started covering the page, especially on the lines first, but then I decided I wanted to cover the whole thing, but I didn't go all the way to the edge where the pink paper from Angela Kerr is, because I like the pink and I wanted to incorporate that color into the picture as well. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do it because in my mind I had a vision of winter, but there is, sometimes you have that pink in the winter time. I don't know if you do see it, but sometimes you do see the pink in like the reflection of the sun and the snow, but you see a lot of like different types of colors, or iridescent. It depends, how cold it is, but that's what I was thinking. So I decided I was gonna just go ahead and fill up the whole page with some gesso. That way I can use my watercolor pencils and do the background the way that I wanted it to look. I love using it because it dries pretty quickly, so I use it in very sparingly. I don't put a lot all of a sudden. I just put a little bit at a time, so that way it dries fast. And then my pencils, sometimes I wet them, but most of the time I like to use the spray bottle that I have, and then I let it just smear all over the place. And then when I want it to be completely smeared, then I use the paintbrush. But here I was just adding some blue on the top portion, simulating the sky, and then in the middle the green, simulating like a forest, kind of like a forest, kind of deal, or trees or whatever. I wasn't gonna draw because I wasn't looking at a picture to be able to draw this time around. So I usually do a lot of simulations if I'm going to be using some elements in my pictures. So like this time I wanted to use those reindeers to decorate, and I have some trees and stuff, so I didn't feel the need to have to find pictures for me to look at so that I can draw in my page. And sometimes this is how I do my art. So you see here I'm using my paintbrush just to smear the color all around, and I had done a little bit of the brown on the bottom, or it's like a darker green, and then I decided to go ahead and dry it with my heat gun. Then I wanted to just do some like stamping in the background, and I have this stamp that I bought at Michael's a few years ago, and it's about writing, And so I figure I should just do a few little bit of stamping around just for a background. But I wasn't really, like, I recently didn't know really exactly how it was gonna look, so I was kind of scared that it was gonna get messed up, because it's not like it's a page that I can just replace. But now that I look at it, as I am doing the voiceover, I can. If I wanted to, I could just cover it up. If I wanted to, I start all over again. So I shouldn't have been worrying about how it was gonna look. But it happens. I just have to remember not to worry about it and just enjoy the process. I made it subtle anyway. I didn't use a permanent color, and I planned to do it after I had already done my watercolor, because I didn't want it to disappear, because since it's a distress ink, if you put water, it's gonna smear anyway. So here are the little trees that I had gotten from Heather, and I thought that was so cute. These were some of the package that I had purchased from her of the papers. It was like a curated box that she had done, the last box that she had put in the shop before she moved. So now I'm just waiting patiently for her new curated paper as soon as she gets it, because I have no more white embossed paper. And I love the ones that she makes. So here I was trying to put what I had envisioned in my mind of what I was seeing. And to really be honest with you, I thought that I was going to do 3 prompts in this one, because I was using the window. And there's 3 prompts. It was wildlife, window, and then the next one was observe, I believe. So I thought, pretty much observing the deer. The father deer is observing the baby and the mom, with the way that I was going to put him up on a little bit higher. And the mom is paying attention to the baby, and then there's a window, which anybody could be looking at the little baby through the window. So that's observing, and then of course the window, and then wildlife. So, but I didn't. I decided, no, I'm not gonna skip it. I'm not going to mix them together. I want to do each and every prompt separately. That way I can fill my journal, even if it takes me longer than it should. So if I wanted to draw this picture, this is how I wanted it to be. But I probably would have drawn the house or part of the house from the inside. But I can, think about it in my mind, but it doesn't really translate from my mind exactly on the page. If I were to draw the house or anything like that, it looks a little bit different. And I believe that when I draw from my mind, it looks a little bit more whimsical than it is the way that I want it to look, more realistic, more, I don't know. I don't want it to look like a cartoony style, even though it's cute and it's fine, but that's basically how my drawings would come out, but not necessarily realistic the way that I see it in my mind. And I will incorporate some of my drawings in this journal when the opportunity arises, but it all depends on what I'm going to be doing, or what inspires me to do so. Usually I will go on Pinterest and look for some drawings that I can look at, so that I can have some kind of an idea of how I'm going to draw on the paper. And it comes out good that way, but again, if I do it from my mind, it doesn't really come out that way. So I do the best that I can. But in here, it was just more, like not necessarily perfect. It was just messy look background, and I will just wet it and spread it out. Like if it was, how do you say that? Like when you look through a window and it's raining and it's kind of foggy and like that. That's what I was trying to do. And this, when it came to the grass, showing up a little bit in between the snow and the ground, kind of like that. That's what I wanted to do. And I don't know if I accomplished that completely, but I was pretty happy with the picture in the end. But I noticed now that it's funny to me as I'm looking at the video doing a voiceover. I see that I used that circle handmade paper that Heather made that is embossed, and I looked at that like if it was the moon, but it looks obnoxious, like it's the biggest moon ever, but I like it anyway. So I put it behind the trees like if it's the moon, but it should have been a little bit smaller than that, but it's okay. Everything is out of proportion, which is fine, but it's just, I don't know, now that I look at it, I don't know if I really like that, but it's okay. So you see how I was smearing the ground? It kind of got a little too dark for me, but it was okay because I had to do that. But then just making sure that I add some of the white later to show the snow, because it is snowing, but it's not snowing, but it is cold and there is snow around, but I don't want it to be like it's completely snowed, like if there's grass coming out, because winter is going away pretty much. That's what I had in my mind, but you'll see. Okay, so now what I'm going to use is one of my stencils from Tim Holtz that has all of the stars. And instead of using this dress ink, I decided I wanted to use the texture paste that I made. And I learned how to make that texture paste by watching Donna. I forget what's her channel, but I will link her below with the video where she shows you how to do it. And that's where I learned it from her. The only thing is that I'm still trying to perfect mine, because for some reason my texture paste gets dry, and so I have to take bits out of it, put it on a cardstock like I'm gonna show you here, and then add a little bit of water or more of the acrylic paint or glue or whatever, just so that I can get it right. I don't want to waste it, because I did make it and I don't have that much of the acrylic, not the acrylic glue, the PVA glue. So I don't want to throw it away. It still works. Anyways, I wanted to add some glitter, like gold glitter, just so that it shines when I do the stars on the page. And guys, you're gonna laugh at me. I added too much water, so now then it has too much water. It was getting too watery, so I had to add a little bit more of the texture paste on that. I'm kind of getting the hang of it on how to mix it, but it's just I didn't do the mixture the first time the right way. I did it 3 times. I did the white one, and then I did a beige color, and then I did a pink one. The beige one was the best one that came out, but look what happened. I spilled the whole way too much of the glitter, and then I didn't know what I was gonna do, so I was like, forget it, I'm just gonna mix it all in there. I'm not gonna waste it, because even if I wanted to spill it inside of the jar again, it was just gonna put some of that gilded wax, not gilded wax, texture paste into the bottle. So I was like, no, forget it, let's just leave it like that. So this one is the one that came out the best. It's perfect, perfect, perfect to do the texture paste embossing on paper, and it comes out so pretty. But this one I had to play with, but it got okay. It was kind of sticky, but it was fine. I figure I was going to use it that way. Once it dries on the paper, it's going to look just fine. So I left it like that. I added a little bit more water here, see, just so that it can move, because it was already getting too pasty because of the glitter. Oh my goodness, it's just sitting. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. I did have the Ranger texture paste, but the problem with that one was it dried out in the plastic cup that it came in. I had two of them. I finished a whole one with no problems, but then the second one, for some reason, it dried out too fast. So I kind of had to throw away almost half of it. So I think that Karen at Grace Be Creation mentioned something about a spackle that you can get at Home Depot, and it's a lot cheaper, and you could get a bigger container of that. So I'm probably gonna look into getting one of those so that I can do mine here too. But it came out really nice, and I can see the shine and the sparkles. And I had forgotten that the last time that I had done something like that, I had put the glitter after I had done the embossing, and it comes out a lot better that way, because it sticks to when it's wet, and the rest will come off. So, and I can just brush it off. And I've remembered that after the fact, so it was already too late to do that. Okay, so here you see me that I'm trying to cover this part with gesso. That's because I thought of, okay, so if the window is on this side, there's got to be some kind of house here, not the ground or anything to see outside. So that's what was on my mind. I was trying to figure out how was I going to incorporate that part to be the house, and then add a little bit of snow showing all around in the grass and on the ground and whatnot, right? So I let it dry and whatnot, and then I put the window with the little deer inside to see, like if you were looking out the window and looking at the baby deer. But I wanted to let you know that here you're gonna see the window. I covered it up with some vellum with design like flowers and whatnot on it, like if it was, you know, a curtain or something on the window. And then I literally did not like that because I couldn't see the little baby deer, so I took it off after the fact. After the video, I took it off and redid it, so you will see the actual picture on my thumbnail in my video a lot different than what you see here. And I will post a picture of it in my Instagram so that you can see what it actually looks like, because I changed it completely because I didn't like the way it looked. I had to take the whole window out, rip it off, and put a new one on. But it's okay. Anyway, this video is going to be really short, so I am going to leave you guys up to here. I'm going to put a music in the background so that you can watch the rest. But as always, I wanted to say thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate you being here. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying my videos, please go like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be aware of the next videos that are coming up. I am working on new collections of journals, so I should be giving some sneak peeks very soon. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye now.